New bike day, woohoo! Now, before you go out that door to ride that new trusty steed, there's a few things you need to know, and I'm afraid a few more things you need to buy. So let me help you prepare your mind and your wallet for those extra things that you're gonna need. Now, these additional items you need to buy are not just sold to you so a bike shop can make more money over what you already spent on that mountain bike. These things will actually make your life easier, and eventually you're gonna have a breakdown in the woods. And these things will help save you from that really long hike out of the woods. Could be 3, 4, 5 miles, depends on how far away you are from your car. So bear with me, get that mind ready to get these extra items that you will need. Some are essential, some you might could wait on. It just depends on how much you want to gamble. Hi, I'm Scott Higgins. Welcome to my channel, Newbie Mountain Bike Club. I'm dedicated to you, the new mountain biker. I remember what it was like to start mountain biking many years ago, and I have a heart for people, to help people succeed and overcome their fears and the things that hinder them. So let me be your guide with my many years of experiences and unlimited resources to help you grow and to conquer those obstacles that are out to hinder you and hinder your love for this great and rewarding sport of mountain biking. Now, new bike day is exciting and even a bit overwhelming. You've searched high and low, you found that bike that you wanted to fit those kind of trails you want to ride. Did your research, scoured online, stayed awake late at night just to going over the specs, make sure it's what you needed. Saved your money or even financed it. Maybe you picked up a really high dollar mountain bike. The last thing you're thinking now is, there's something else I need to buy? But I'm telling you, there is. Just get ready for it. You're gonna have to have it either now or in the future. Might as well get it over with, bite the bullet, get those things you need. So you're excited and you're a little freaked out. This bike is high tech, way more high tech than that old bike you had. And you're looking at it and you're like, what are these new features? How do I treat this? What kind of maintenance is this bike gonna need? You're asking all these questions. What does this button do? Relax, it's gonna be okay. It's just a little bit of extra dollars for some items that'll probably last you a long time. If you need them, you've got them. At this point, I am assuming that you bought your bike from a reputable bike shop that stands behind its product. They've gone over the warranty, they've gone over the maintenance, and you've got some peace of mind knowing that somebody's got your back. At the same time, I understand you're thinking, I just spent a chunk of money on this bike. You just have to be ready when things happen. And it's a mechanical object and things break down. I myself have had to make that walk and that hike out of the woods carrying or pushing a bike a few times because I didn't have the right tools with me. Some things beyond my control, but a lot of things, they're actually within your control so you can actually finish out a ride or at least limp it back to your car without having to do a mountain bike hike in mountain bike shoes. So I'm going to break this down into things that I personally recommend that are the true bare essentials that you really will need, and then kind of take it up a notch to things that you will need eventually. Bare essentials. Number one thing, helmet. Yeah, a helmet. Now, some people may be thinking, I'm not going to go fast. I'm just going to go slow. I don't need a helmet. Well, you need a helmet. It's a lot cheaper to buy a helmet now, between $50 to $100 or more. That would save you thousands in the emergency room with major head trauma. And I don't even like to ride down to a mailbox without having my helmet on. I've had too many reasons where I've had to have it in the past. Another essential item would be bicycle shorts. One way or the other, you're going to be one of those people that's wearing really tight, form-fitting, like Lycra shorts. They keep everything in place. They breathe well. They whisk sweat away. Cotton is your enemy because cotton will cause abrasions. It holds bacteria. It'll rub you the wrong way. It leads to saddle sores as well. You don't want saddle sores down there. Just the sound of that should scare you. But good news is, mountain biking, you can wear a shell on top. And these will help you with they're relatively cool, and they'll help with any kind of briars. So if something snags them, they won't rip, and you won't feel as exposed in case you do, fall down, have an abrasion or something like that. Happens sometimes, that you'll be all right. You won't be all scuffed up. Another essential item I highly recommend are gloves, mountain bike specific, long finger gloves. They will just fit tight on your hands. Make sure there's no gap in the fingers, and they fit well between your fingers as well. Gloves come in really handy. They have grips to help grip the brakes in case you sweat. If you come up on a tree or get really close to something, you won't get your side of your hand scuffed up. In the event that you do wreck, they'll save your hands as well. They'll help you have a firm grip, because grip is everything. You won't have to grip as tight wearing gloves, so it's safer. And they are relatively cool. They don't get really hot. Another item I recommend, a shock pump. It's different than a floor pump. It's real precise on its pressure. And whenever you have air forks and air shock, you'll have to set the PSI with one of these shock specific pumps. They're only run about $40 to $50, and it'll last you for years again. And you're going to have one, because there'll be a few rides at the beginning. You'll want to have one of these with you. And as you adjust with your PSI and your fork and then your shock, you can adjust it as you go. And if you let too much air out in an adjustment, you can always add a few PSI back in. But if you don't have this with you, you can let air out, and it might make for a really non-fun ride. So shock pump. And about once a month or so, you should check it and make sure everything's good. They don't leak that much air. They don't leak air like a tire. And if you don't have access to a compressor, which you better be careful if you do have a compressor, it puts a lot of air into a tube or tire very quickly. I recommend a floor pump. And a floor pump is not something you would take with you, of course, but it would be at your house. Tires will lose air pretty much weekly. And the more pressure you run, the more they do leak. So you can get one. They run $40 to $50 themselves, something like that, and they come in various forms of niceties and extras you can get. Most modern pumps these days have a dual head. They can fit Presta or Schrader, depending on what kind of valve you have. It'll actually work for both. Another very essential I recommend is a water bottle case. Something to think about. They can vary in price from $8 up to $20, $50, $75. Some are actually made of carbon fiber to save weight. Now, water bottle cage, right there. There's your water bottle cage. And you're gonna have to have one, because you have to carry water. So just plan on getting it, and get one that's gonna be pretty and match your bike. Now I've got some essential emergency equipment, things that you should buy. Again, based on how much of a gambler you are, is pretty much how much of a risk you want to take on whether you should buy these items or not. First thing, a bag to carry these items in. This goes actually under the saddle, out of the way, connects to the seat post. This wraps around the frame of the actual saddle. And inside this saddle, you will carry a tube. Make sure you check the size of your tire on the side. That's the size tube that you will need. So the tube will fit in there, as well as a CO2 cartridge I recommend, because they're really small in space. A CO2 cartridge and an applicator. And there's instructions in the back how you actually will turn this into a pump to pump up a spare tube. This one basically will screw in. It punctures the actual CO2 cartridge, but it forms an airtight seal. At that point, this side goes on the actual valve if it's Presta or Schrader, and then you just turn that and it lets the air in. Easy peasy, way better than having a pump over and over and over for about 30 minutes and still not get enough PSI in there. And these applicators and CO2 cartridges save a lot of weight. Now, if you don't want to carry a bag, that's okay. There's other ways to do it. I actually carry a strap that holds a tube, a tire repair kit running tubeless. I have a CO2 cartridge down here along with the applicator. It has some latex gloves, because when you're running tubeless, there's sealant inside this tire. And if I need to put a tube in there, it gets all ooey gooey on my hands. I don't want to get on my riding gloves. So that's a really handy way of carrying to keep it off the seat. Also recommend a multi-tool, which should have a various set of Allen wrenches and some torque as well to fit pretty much everything on your bike. Many of them also come with a chain breaker, disc straightener to actually, if your disc gets bent, you can actually straighten them up out on the trail. Here's an option. That's the Park Tool MTC 40. And it actually has multiple hex wrenches, some torque as well. Even got a bottle opener on here. Chain tool. So this is a good one to look up, and there's several out there, several options. It's not too heavy, but does have quite a bit on it. Something essential that you should consider carrying is a master link. One of these links on this chain is the actual master link. And the master link is there because with the right tool, you can easily take your chain off, or if your chain breaks, it makes it easier to repair. Now, along with that though, you really need a chain breaker. A chain breaker is a tool that will actually push the pin out of the chain in case your chain breaks. You can take the bad links out and then use a master link, hook them back together. But I tell you what, I'll put a link in my descriptions for more on how to use the multi-tool or use that master link in the chain breaker. Another really cool tool is this Wolf Tooth multi-wrench chain tool. You can put master links on the inside. If you look, you can install and remove master links. Tauten valve stem lock nuts. It's got that spot right in the middle for 2 sets of master links. And a tire lever, really handy. It's one tire lever, you want to bring an extra one. It closes magnetically, and it's got that press the valve core remover. So really lightweight, aluminum, machined, really nice addition to your pack. The technical aspects of the chain breaker and using that multi-tool is beyond the realm and the scope of this video. So I will put a link in the descriptions on how best to use master links, chain breakers, and that multi-tool. And something easy to take with you is a simple zip tie. You'd be amazed at how it can hold things in place, maybe a cable or something on your bike, something that comes loose, and also maybe a small roll of electrical tape. You can tape some things up as well if something comes loose or breaks loose on your bike and you want to pull it out of the way so you can finish your ride or get back to your car. All right, something else that will save you money in the long run is chain cleaning kit. And you can see the chain goes through there, and this will get your chain sparkly clean. And then after that, you can lube it, and that'll help you save money for the future, because when a chain wears and gets grease and grime and debris in it, affects your cog set as well, which will cost you money. So the longer you can leave these things, keep them clean and keep them going, the more money you'll save for the future. Now, after you clean your chain, you need to apply a chain lube of your choice. So you need to go ahead and ask the bike shop or wherever which one they prefer, and go and buy yourself some chain lube, and I'll show you how to apply at least this kind in the next episode. Now, we're going to get down to the less essential things, but things that you're going to want to do, and actually add some style points. One is a mud guard. This matches my front mud guard, but it goes in the back on the seat on those if I get in any kind of muddy day. And you want to look at the pedal system that you want. Right now, my bike has flat pedals on it, which I really highly recommend you start off riding with flat pedals. That'll enable you to have proper form and technique, because once you advance in flat pedals, if you want, you can look at being clipped in. They call it clipless, even though you're clipped in. Now, on these flat pedals, you want flat pedal shoes, specific shoes, or at least something really flat with no high arch, because the arch will go over the pins and that won't give you much grip. So you want to pick something that's really flat. If you want to experiment later and you want to go clipless, this is the Crank Brothers pedal system, and it comes with a cleat inside right there, and that cleat perfectly matches. To get out of that, you go heel out. And that actually gets you out of there. You get used to it. I love riding clipless, but I also love riding flat pedals because it will expose any bad form and it helps keep you sharp. And you definitely should get used to flat pedals, get used to jumping flat pedals, cornering flat pedals, everything you want to do, climbing, get the flat pedals down first. Later, when you get used to these clipping in and out of the clipless pedals, every once in a while, you'll want to swap back the flat pedals just to make sure that you're honest. Kind of like a test, see if you can make an A and make sure your form's still good and you're not getting lazy out there. Now, if you're having problems with your saddle, you're having saddle sores or you're uncomfortable, and you've got the bike short, still having some issues, there is chamois cream. This one's chamois butter, and you put this on your nether regions, we'll say, and that just helps things just slide and glide across, and that can really help out immensely. I'll always use it. And then if that doesn't work, there's actual saddles you can buy at most bike shops. There's a saddle demo program, or there's comfortable saddles that are just proven to work a lot better than a stock saddle. So I recommend you, before you give up, try a different saddle. One more thing I recommend is a actual bicycle specific wash kit. That's the Mechanics brush set. It's got a series. It's got the soft brush for the frame, different brushes and ways to get in between those tight spots on the bike, clean out between the gears. This is actually a lot more handier than just trying to put together a brush set yourself. When you're washing your bike, you could use a mild, maybe a mild cleaner, but they actually make, like this one, Simple Green, a bike frame specific cleaner and degreaser. But this is great, and you can spray it down, it foams up. You can scrub it with the scrub brushes, and then of course you'll rinse it off with a shower nozzle on a water hose, and that's in the next video. Yes, these items add up, but a lot of these items and these products and equipment will last you for years to come. A helmet, probably 5 years before you change it out. After that, it might start to get degraded. The material won't do its job as effectively. Don't leave it in direct sunlight. Don't leave it at extreme temperatures, hot or cold. And jerseys and shorts, you wear them until they're no longer comfortable pretty much. They start getting threadbare, or maybe the cushion is not as cushioned as it used to be. Also, if you're new to mountain biking, or it's been a while since you've actually mountain biked, keep in mind things have changed quite a lot in the mountain bike world. Trails are now a little more technical and harder and more features than they used to be, say, just 20 years ago. So there's definitely techniques and forms that you need to use to make you a better mountain biker. And it's better to start off learning correctly and develop a bad habit like over a year or 2 years and then try to break those habits. So I highly recommend you invest in yourself and getting yourself some sort of a certified mountain bike instruction. You have something that I offer for that, and I'll have details on that coming up soon. I hope everything I shared today makes sense, that you have a general idea of some of the products and equipment you need to buy up front. But once you get them, they're really kind of out of the way. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section below. Again, I ask you, please subscribe. This is really powered on subscriptions, and you are the battery that keeps this running when you subscribe and like my channel and leave me some comments. So I thank you for your time. Now, coming up in part 2 of this, I'll show you how to use more of these products, how to use them on your bike. And it'll just be a basic, bare essential on some basic maintenance and easy things that you yourself can do and things that you need to know. So stay tuned. Thank you.